Did you know that small daily habits could be holding you back from living a peaceful and happy life? So why do we keep letting them control our lives when we can easily change them? You'll be surprised to find that the habits you consider harmless might be keeping you from the inner freedom you've always wanted. In today's video on Wisdom Daily, we'll explore 12 Stoic habits that are holding you back and how to eliminate them starting today. Get ready to embark on a journey of discovering peace and personal growth through Stoic principles you can apply immediately in your life. Living in the present moment. The key to peace. Surely you've sometimes felt stuck in thoughts about the past, right? The wrong decisions, unresolved issues, or things you wish you could have done differently. Or sometimes, you might find yourself worrying about the future, afraid that you won't be good enough, anxious about things that haven't happened yet. These feelings can make us feel like we're trapped in a never-ending cycle, right? But the truth is, we can change how we approach life to create more peace. Why Stoicism encourages living in the now. Stoic philosophy, a deep and profound way of living, always encourages us to live in the present. Both the past and the future are things we can't fully control, right? The past is gone, and the future hasn't arrived yet. So why spend time worrying about things beyond our control? In fact, this only takes away from focusing on what we can change right now, the present. A simple example: how worrying about the future affects. Yes, imagine sitting in a work meeting with your laptop in front of you, and you start worrying about a presentation tomorrow. You feel restless. Your mind isn't at peace. And even the work you should be doing today gets affected because you're too worried about something that hasn't happened yet. Did you know that while you're worrying about the future, you're losing the ability to be effective in the present? This is exactly what Stoicism teaches us. Worrying about the future or living in the past only causes us to miss out on valuable opportunities right now. Taking action, shifting focus to the present moment. So, take a moment and ask yourself, what can I change right now to improve my life? That's the key to living more peacefully each day. Remember, life truly exists only in the present moment, and that's where you can make the most significant changes. Next, we'll explore the second habit that Stoicism advises us to eliminate. Another crucial habit in creating a peaceful life. Explaining to those who hurt you. Surely, you've been in a situation where someone hurt you. Maybe a close friend, a colleague, or even someone you loved. And you know, when we're hurt, we often want to explain, want the other person to understand why we feel that way, or sometimes we just want an apology. But have you ever asked yourself, does explaining really make me feel better? No need for long explanations. The truth is, we don't need to explain ourselves or seek forgiveness from those who have hurt us. All you need to do is realize that trying to explain it again only adds to the tension and doesn't change anything. Sometimes, forgiveness isn't what you need from them, but rather the inner peace you find within yourself. Protecting your peace. Instead of explaining, what's important is protecting your own peace. Don't let those who don't respect you drag you into endless arguments. Learn to let go and keep your distance from those who have hurt you, rather than trying to make them understand you. Keeping that distance will help protect your peace of mind. A real-life example. Imagine having a friend who has let you down many times. You might really want to explain to them why you feel the way you do, but in reality, every time you try, things just get more tense. Instead, think about how much lighter you would feel if you simply kept your distance and took time to heal. That's how you protect your peace without needing to explain yourself to them. So instead of continuing to explain to those who hurt, you choose to protect yourself and stop the pointless arguments. What you're doing now is choosing peace, not forgiveness. This doesn't mean you don't care, but rather you're taking care of yourself. Next, we'll explore the third habit. Stoic philosophy advises us to eliminate goals that no longer serve your life. Eliminating unnecessary goals. Surely, in life, we've all set many goals, right? big and small goals, from achieving a high position, owning an expensive item, to simple ones like completing today's tasks. However, not all the goals we set are truly valuable for our long-term life. Some goals might seem like something we must achieve, but they don't align with the path of personal growth that we truly desire. Eliminate goals that don't align with your purpose in life. Stoic philosophy encourages us not just to live with practical goals, but with goals that truly reflect the essence and values of the life we pursue. Some goals you set in the past might no longer suit you, or sometimes they are simply pressures from society or external expectations. But what's important is that you realize that continuing to chase after goals that no longer serve you only distracts you from focusing on what truly matters. A real-life example. Imagine you set a goal to earn a large sum of money so you can buy an expensive car. You work hard every day, hoping that one day you'll achieve this, but after a while, you realize that this car doesn't make you feel happy or fulfilled. Have you ever asked yourself whether this goal is truly necessary for you? And have you possibly let it control your life, while forgetting the things that are really important, like health, family, or meaningful life experiences? Redirecting to what truly matters. Eliminating goals that no longer fit doesn't mean you stop having dreams or ambitions. On the contrary, it gives you time and energy to focus on goals that are more aligned with who you truly are, helping you feel happier and more at peace. Instead of chasing after what society says you should have, ask yourself, does this goal truly serve my happiness and growth? So, when we realize that some goals no longer serve us, we can start living a more authentic life, focusing on what truly matters. This not only helps you feel more comfortable, but also leads to inner peace. Next, we will explore the third habit. Stoicism advises us to eliminate sharing too much about past relationships. Sharing too much about past relationships. Have you ever felt like you've shared too much about a past relationship? The sadness, anger, or regret might make you want to talk it out. Explain to everyone why things ended the way they did. But does sharing really help you move on? Or does it just make everything more complicated? Keep it private and protect your emotions. When a relationship ends, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship, one of the most important things you can do is keep it private. Sharing too much about what happened may make you feel relief in the short term, but in the long run, it only adds to the negative emotions. You don't need to explain the end of a relationship to others. In fact, doing so just forces you to face those painful feelings over and over again. Respect yourself and others. Sometimes, we feel the need to share with friends or people around us to seek sympathy. But in reality, recounting every detail of a past relationship not only causes you more pain, but can also hurt the other person involved. Do you want others to know too much about your private matters? So why share everything about what's past without considering your own feelings and the other person's? Opportunity for healing. When you hold back details about a past relationship, you're giving yourself space to heal. Only when you truly take the time to focus on yourself and avoid dragging negative emotions into your present life can you move forward. Healing takes time and stillness. It's not always about telling others your story. So, instead of sharing too much about past relationships, focus on healing and protecting your peace. That's how you truly respect yourself and others. Next, we'll explore the fourth habit. Stoic philosophy advises us to eliminate losing our temper and losing control of our emotions in difficult situations. Shouting when angry, surely. You've been in a situation where your anger took over and you couldn't control your words. The feeling of anger can be so overwhelming that we want to shout to let it all out. But have you ever asked yourself, does shouting when angry really help solve the problem, or does it only make things worse? Control your emotions and speak calmly. Instead of losing control and shouting, learn to control your emotions. Stoic philosophy encourages us to stay calm, even in the most stressful situations. When you learn to manage your emotions, your words become clearer and more effective, and you maintain respect for others. Have you ever noticed that when you speak patiently, others are more likely to listen and respect you? That's the power of calmness. A real-life example. Imagine you're in a tense meeting. A colleague presents a viewpoint opposite to yours, and the anger is rising. Instead of responding with loud criticism, picture yourself remaining calm and replying, "I understand your perspective, but I think that surely this approach will earn you more respect and help resolve the issue more effectively." This is exactly what Stoicism teaches us. Instead of letting emotions control us, let reason guide our actions. The power of patience. Anger can cloud your judgment and escalate tension in any conversation. However, when you choose patience and maintain calm, you'll find that you can control the situation and steer the conversation in a more positive direction. This not only helps maintain good relationships, but also elevates your value in the eyes of others. So instead of letting anger take over and shouting, learn to stay calm and communicate with patience. Calmness will not only help you resolve issues, but will also make you someone others respect and trust. Next, we'll explore the fifth habit. Stoicism advises us to eliminate negative criticism of others. Negative criticism of others. Sometimes, we might feel the need to share our opinions about someone, especially when they do something we disagree with. It's easy to fall into negative conversations where people criticize each other. But does engaging in these types of conversations really benefit you or anyone else? Instead of judging, choose empathy and understanding. Stoic philosophy advises us to steer clear of negative conversations where criticizing others becomes a habit. Sometimes criticizing others may provide us with temporary comfort, but in reality, it doesn't bring long-term benefits. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to choose empathy and understanding. When you try to understand others rather than judge them, you will be able to see things more clearly and not be controlled by negative emotions. A real-life example. Imagine you're listening to a friend talk about someone else, criticizing and judging them harshly. You might feel uncomfortable but not know how to respond. Instead of joining in on the negative conversation, you could choose to shift the conversation by gently reminding them, we don't know the full story about that person. Maybe they're going through something we don't see. A remark like that not only helps you avoid criticism, but also fosters a spirit of empathy and understanding. Creating positive relationships. When you choose empathy over criticism, you're not only protecting your own peace, but also creating a positive environment for those around you. In fact, when we choose understanding, relationships become stronger and there's no place for unnecessary tension or conflict. This is crucial because a peaceful mind and healthy relationships are exactly what Stoic philosophy encourages us to strive for. So instead of participating in negative conversations and criticizing others, choose empathy and understanding. This will not only help you build better relationships, but also protect your inner peace. Next, we'll explore the sixth habit. Stoicism advises us to eliminate comparing ourselves to others. Comparing yourself to others. Surely, we've all had moments when we asked ourselves, why are others better than me? Or, why can't I achieve the success they have? Comparing ourselves to others can make us feel insecure, disappointed, and sometimes unhappy. But does this practice really help you grow? Or does it just make you feel like you're not enough? Comparison only makes you feel insecure. When you compare yourself to others, you're putting yourself into a race that you can't control. Instead of feeling proud of what you've achieved, you feel lacking, always thinking you're not as good or don't have what others have. But the truth is, everyone has their own unique path to follow, and no one else can walk your journey. Celebrate yourself and your own path. Stoic philosophy encourages us to honor ourselves and the journey of personal growth we are on. Don't let the achievements of others make you feel inadequate. Remember, their success doesn't mean your failure. You can learn from them, but don't compare and let that diminish your value. Every step, every effort you make is worthy of praise and part of the process that makes you who you are. A real-life example. Imagine seeing a friend land their dream job while you're still struggling to find an opportunity. In that moment, you might feel down and feel like you're falling behind. However, instead of comparing, you can recognize that your journey will have its own unique opportunities, challenges, and growth. Rather than blaming yourself, take pride in what you've accomplished and keep working toward your goals. Comparing yourself to others only leaves you feeling unhappy and insecure. Focus on your own path and celebrate what you have achieved. Everyone has a different journey, and the important thing is that you know where you're going and why you're doing what you're doing. Next, we will explore the seventh habit. Stoicism advises us to eliminate mindlessly using social media. Using social media with purpose. Social media has become an essential part of our lives. We check our phones, scroll through Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok every day. But have you ever asked yourself, am I using social media with intention, or am I just scrolling aimlessly without knowing what I'm doing? Using social media mindlessly can easily take up a lot of your time without you even realizing it, and that can affect the quality of your real-life experiences. Using social media with purpose. Stoic philosophy encourages us to live a life with intention and purpose. When using social media, it's important to be intentional and control the time spent on it. Set clear goals when you open social media. Are you looking for useful information, connecting with friends, or just wasting time? Think about this. If each time you open your phone, you have a specific goal, would you feel that your life adds more value? A real-life example. Have you ever found yourself scrolling through Instagram for an hour without knowing where you started or ended? Then you realize that you didn't remember anything interesting or useful. In fact, this only provides temporary satisfaction, but then you feel empty afterward. Instead, try using your time to check on things that really bring value to you, such as learning something new or sharing meaningful moments with friends instead of just mindlessly scrolling through pointless posts. Minimizing time on social media. Using social media with purpose doesn't mean giving it up completely, but learning how to manage your time. If you feel like social media is taking up too much of your time, try simple ways to minimize your scrolling. Set time limits for social media each day, or even turn off notifications to avoid distractions. You'll find that when you control your time and attention, your real-life experiences will feel much more fulfilling and meaningful. So instead of letting social media dominate your time and mind, learn to use it with purpose and control how much time you spend on it. When you live intentionally, you'll find that you enjoy real life more. Next, we will explore the eighth habit that Stoicism advises us to eliminate, the pursuit of external validation. Pursuing external validation. Surely, we've all wanted to be recognized by others, right? Maybe you want praise from your boss, or simply wish for your friends and family to acknowledge your efforts. However, when you live only for the validation of others, you allow external factors to define your self-worth. Have you ever asked yourself if this really makes you feel truly happy and fulfilled? Don't live for the validation of others. Stoic philosophy encourages us not to let the recognition from others control our lives. That validation may feel sweet at first, but when you start living solely to please others, you slowly lose touch with yourself. Every day, you need to wake up with your own goals, not the expectations others place on you. Living according to your own values and principles will give you a life that's more free and fulfilling. A real-life example. Imagine you have a friend who is constantly seeking validation from others. They do everything just to get praised. But have you ever noticed that even when they receive compliments, they still don't feel happy? This shows that external validation is only temporary. Ultimately, You have to live for yourself, based on your own values and principles, not to gain approval or recognition from others around you. Live by your own values and principles. When you live by your own values and principles, you will feel more at peace and happy. No one can evaluate your worth better than you can yourself. Every time you act based on what you believe in, not only will you feel proud, but you will also inspire others. You'll become someone others respect and admire, not because of what you do to please them, but because of the true person you are. So, don't let the validation from others define your worth. Live according to your own values and principles, and you will find life becomes much more meaningful. Next, we'll explore the 10th habit. Stoicism advises us to eliminate perfectionism. Perfectionism, surely, we've all wanted to be perfect in everything we do, from work, studies, to relationships. Everyone wants to present the best version of themselves and achieve perfect results. But does chasing perfection really bring happiness? Or does it only leave us feeling exhausted and never satisfied? Accepting imperfection. Stoic philosophy encourages us to accept that nothing is perfect. Imperfection is sometimes an unattainable goal. Striving for it too much can make us stressed, anxious, and take away the joy of the journey. What's more important is learning to accept our flaws and failures. Remember, each imperfect step is an opportunity to learn and grow. A real-life example. Imagine you're working on a major project, and things don't turn out as perfectly as you expected. You might feel disappointed because it didn't meet your original plan. But instead of focusing on the flaws, try to see what you've learned from the mistakes and failures. That's the opportunity for you to improve and grow. When you let go of the pressure to be perfect, you'll realize that every challenge is a step forward in your journey. Failures are learning opportunities. Perfectionism is a trap that makes you focus on the final result while forgetting the learning process. In fact, every failure you encounter is not the end, but an opportunity to learn and try again. We all know that successful people aren't those who have never failed, but those who have learned from their mistakes and risen again. When you face imperfection, you're learning how to grow and develop yourself. So, don't let perfectionism control your life. Accept imperfection and recognize that every failure is a valuable lesson. When you let go of perfection, you'll feel lighter and be able to move forward more easily. Next, we'll explore the 11th habit that Stoicism advises us to eliminate: unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations. We all have expectations. In life, right? It could be expectations about work, relationships, or even about ourselves. But are those expectations really reasonable? When you expect too much from yourself or others, do you find yourself feeling disappointed when things don't turn out as you hoped? Eliminating unrealistically high expectations. Stoic philosophy encourages us to understand that life is never perfect, and things won't always go the way we want them to. When you set expectations that are too high or unrealistic, you're setting yourself up for an endless race with no finish line. This only leads to stress, anxiety, and a loss of joy in the journey. Instead of building a wall of overly high expectations, learn to accept and evaluate life for what it truly is: practical and achievable. A real-life example. Think about a time when you set a huge goal for yourself, such as reaching a certain income level in a short amount of time. At first you're determined, but then you realize you can't achieve it immediately. You feel disappointed and lose motivation. However, if you accept that it might take time to reach your goal and adjust your expectations to be more in line with your ability and the reality, you'll feel much lighter and less pressured. This is the lesson from Stoicism. Learn to embrace life with all its imperfections. Focus on the process, not just the result. Instead of focusing only on the final outcome, Stoics advise us to focus on the process and the efforts we put in every day. Remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. When you give your best effort, it doesn't matter whether the result is perfect. What matters is that you've learned and grown from the experience. So, instead of setting unrealistically high expectations, learn to embrace life as it is, with all its imperfections. When you do this, you'll feel freer and more fulfilled every day. Next, we'll explore the 12th habit that Stoicism advises us to eliminate: engaging in meaningless conversations. Gossiping. Surely, you've been in those pointless conversations where people just talk about others, saying things that bring no real value. It might make you feel comfortable for a moment, but then you realize that it doesn't help you grow or learn anything. So why do we engage in such conversations? Avoid gossip and meaningless conversations. Stoic philosophy advises us to avoid engaging in gossip or conversations that offer no benefit. Talking about others not only wastes time, but also pulls you away from what truly matters in life. Every time you participate in these types of conversations, you're not only devaluing yourself, but also potentially hurting others. Instead of letting these talks take up your time, focus on what truly matters. The benefits of respectful and understanding communication. Instead of engaging in gossip, choose to communicate with respect and understanding for others. When you genuinely listen and understand others, you not only build better relationships, but also learn something new. Respectful communication helps you maintain inner peace and fosters lasting relationships, free from judgment or harm. A real-life example. Imagine you're in a conversation, and everyone starts talking about someone who isn't present. You might feel uncomfortable, but instead of joining in, you could say, "We should respect that person and not say unnecessary things." This simple yet respectful statement helps keep the peace in the conversation and will make others respect you more. So, instead of participating in pointless conversations and gossip, learn to communicate with respect and understanding for others. Not only will this help you protect your peace, but it will also create positive relationships. Next, we will explore the final habit Stoicism advises us to eliminate: living in the past or worrying about the future. We've explored 12 Stoic habits that, when eliminated, can help us live a freer, more peaceful, and meaningful life. From letting go of unrealistic expectations to learning how to control our emotions and communicate with respect for others, each habit we remove is a big step on our journey of personal growth. Life isn't always perfect, but it's these imperfect experiences that provide valuable lessons that help us grow. The most important thing is that you have the power to choose your path, to live with peace, live by your own values, and not be controlled by external factors. Remember, you are the one creating your own life. Embrace each day and live with purpose, with self-awareness and respect for yourself. We all have the ability to change our lives, one habit at a time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, share to spread this message. And if you want to continue this personal growth journey with Wisdom Daily, be sure to subscribe to the channel today. Question for you. What do you think about the Stoic habits we discussed? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching and being part of Wisdom Daily. See you in the next video.